There might be a sports competition right now going on in Paris called the Olympic Games, but when it comes to royal fashion, there is a little competition there between the royal ladies as well. From Wimbledon a couple of weeks ago to Belgian National Day, a celebration of Crown Princess Victoria's birthday, so many other little royal engagements in between. And we even have a queen giving an award to a Hollywood megastar. So we are going to look at some of the best and worst fashion looks of the week. And I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on them. And just as a reminder, this is all in good fun. But if you guys haven't been to Royal Fashion News, my name is Brittany. So if you love royal fashion and want to learn more about the fashion the royal ladies are wearing, which is always usually classic, timeless. Again, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And I also want to give a shout out real quick here to my lovely blouse, which is Veronica Beard. And this is actually a blouse that Madeleine wore in December. So yes, I realize I'm not wearing the same blouse, but it is the same style from the designer Veronica Beard. So if you're interested in that, it is still available actually at Nordstrom Rack. So that is where I got it just recently. And so I have been really loving this gorgeous ensemble. And I just found a skirt that I think would look amazing with this. And so, guys, speaking of Princess Madeleine, she will be the first on our best dressed list here. And so, guys, I have to say, I absolutely love this look from Princess Madeleine. It's from a brand called Agua by Agua. And I just think this is incredible. I just love the femininity of it. I love how it's very summery. This is a celebration of Crown Princess Victoria's birthday that they have every year. She's paired it here with a pair of Valentino sandals, and she has her two daughters here, Princess Adrian and Princess Leonor. And I am just obsessed with this. It's actually still for sale online at Saks Fifth Avenue, and it's actually on sale as well. So they only have a couple more left in stock. So I'll make sure to try to link this one. But I just think this dress is absolutely stunning. I love it. I love it. I think she looks gorgeous. I kind of love her earrings here too. There's no official identification for her earrings, but I have to say I'm a bit disappointed this picture wouldn't quite work in the thumbnail. But I think Princess Madeleine looks absolutely gorgeous here. This is such a gorgeous shot. She really is one of the most beautiful princesses in Europe, in my opinion. She has spent the last couple of years in Florida, which I think has been really, really good for her. And she has these really, really stunning blue eyes. And so you can't quite catch them here, but in some pictures, they just really like spark out and just really just come off the page. So I think she looks absolutely incredible here. I'm loving this look. And I'm so glad she's back in Sweden because then we get to see her at more official royal events. And I am all for that. I have missed Princess Madeleine. So glad to have her back in Sweden. So for a more recent royal event here, we have Queen Matilda of the Belgians at an official Olympic event. I believe this is a Natan look. And I'm going to say I just don't find this flattering in the slightest. She actually wore a white dress recently that I think would have been much better than this ensemble. I just think it's really unflattering and just doesn't work in my opinion. So I wish she had chosen something different because she did have, again, this gorgeous, I think it had like, was almost like, no, like Starburst or something on it, a dress, which I think would have looked absolutely stunning. Just don't think this dress is the best for her, or jumpsuit, I should say. So I'm going to have to put this one on the worst dress list this week. So next on the best dress list, this one surprised me, but I saw it. I was like, I really think I have to put it on the best dress list this week. And this is a Sophia dress for Sarah Ferguson. And I think this is stunning. I think it's age appropriate. I think it's elegant. I like the white and the black. She looks great here as well. So I definitely have to give this one a big old thumbs up. I think Sarah looks wonderful here. And so I have to give her mad props. I think there was a couple recently where I'm like, but this one definitely knocked it out of the park. So next we have one, and this will surprise you because actually for me, Princess Charlene looks great here. There's nothing about this that super sticks out to me as wonderful, fantastic, or amazing or anything. It's a pretty simple ensemble by Louis Vuitton. But I want to talk about Camille here. So Camille is Albert's niece. So her mother is Princess Stephanie, and she seems to go on a lot of these events. I'm not quite sure why, because obviously she's pretty far down in the Montesquieu line of succession. I think actually Albert's a pretty great uncle, pretty great dad. Doesn't seem to be a great partner or husband, but seems to be a pretty good family guy in a certain respect. So he is very close to all his nieces and nephews. And so I greatly admire that. But my issue here is when it comes to being at particular events, this is the Red Cross event there in Monaco. It's their 75th gala anniversary. I think there's something to the effect of letting the host shine and you maybe toning it down a bit, because this is a very loud ensemble. And I think she should have gone with something a bit more subtle because she's not really leading the charge here. She's just kind of here because I'm not entirely sure, and I don't know if I can say. So if you're more of a peripheral character, I don't think this is a particular look that you should go with, especially Charlene is so subdued. I think actually if they switch dresses, that would be a bit better. But yeah, I think this is dress is just a little much in my opinion. And then you also got this thing where I saw it and I was like, oh, and then there's also another bit here. It also has a really, really, really high slit here. I mean, it goes all the way up, pretty much as high as you can go. So not, I would say, super appropriate. And again, if you are there as more of an addition to the main cast, it's kind of like showing up the bride on her wedding day, kind of sort of. You should maybe do something maybe a little subtler. It could maybe still be red, but not quite so much on the top and stuff. And so it's just kind of interesting. But we do see Camille go on a lot of these things, and I'm just not quite sure why does she not have something else to do? I don't know, because obviously, given that she is Stephanie's daughter, so she's even further down in the line of succession than Caroline's children. And so again, it just raises some it just makes me curious. Just makes me curious. So anyways, she does have an Instagram though, and you can follow her. So if you're interested. Of course, one to never disappoint is Queen Mary, very much representing Denmark here in her outfit, which is red and white, which represents the colors of the Danish flag. So she's wearing a Jesper hovering blouse, an Andina official trousers. She has a Chloe clutch, Valentino shoes, and she's wearing some jewelry here as well. My only, I guess, critique here is that I don't really think the bag goes with the look, but I think the color red here is absolutely stunning. I think it's a stunning color red. I'm really, really loving it. Loving again the simplicity of red and white. I really think Mary does simple very well and very elegantly. There is a way, because we will see somebody else, and maybe this will be the next person, where simple just you can either be simple and do it well, or you can be simple and just really make it clean and classy and elegant. And I think Mary captures that balance really well, because and in some ways there's nothing super exciting about this look. It's a red blouse with white trousers, but when you pull it together really well, that she just looks absolutely elegant. I think that is the way to go here, because otherwise it just can kind of tend to look a bit sloppy. You have to be very, very careful here, and I think Mary cut the absolutely perfect balance, but somebody else did not. So Meghan Markle is attempting for, you could say, a very classic look here, and I just don't like this at all. Number one, it seems like the 90s called and wants their outfit back, but she has a tendency to do this thing where she, I think, is trying to go for this clean, simple look, but it just never really comes together. And I hate oversized stuff like this oversized button up. I think she thinks it looks classy and elegant. I think it looks messy. And it's just something like, eh, and we've seen this before, and I don't think there's anything particularly interesting about it. She's pairing it with, she has like this Cartier necklace on, which is very expensive, her Dior clutch, and she has a Lorraine Schwartz bracelet. So she is being very, very flashy in this very, very simple ensemble, but it lacks a touch of elegance to it, I think, that other women can pull off a lot better. Here's another angle. You really feel like the mom jeans here. I kind of hate mom jeans. I've always hated mom jeans. So I really feel like the hatred for mom jeans here. Her rolled up sleeves are little, messy. The shirt is oversized, and I just kind of hate the oversized look. So if you are curious, apparently she's wearing an Annie Being shirt, Laling jeans. She has her Lady Dior bag, which is customized to say the Duchess of Sussex, so DSS OS or something to that effect. I can't quite remember. And then, a slew of Cartier, Lorraine Schwartz jewelry, and then Chanel flats, of course. But there's just something where I feel like look has been overdone. And there's nothing here where she has elevated this look in the slightest. It's kind of bare bones basic, no really sense of style. You can see somebody who's attempting to emulate style without actually having it. So that, I think, lacks a level of elegance that I think Mary in that look pulls off, in part because she looks put together, because Mary is really put together. And I think there's a difference there. And Meghan, I guess, is attempting to elevate this with $50,000 worth of jewelry, but it doesn't work here. So I definitely have to put this on the worst dress list, because I'm honestly bored with this particular look, and I'm bored with how boring it is and how uninspiring it is, and how I think some people like Meghan, and there's others who think this too, that they think this is the classiest thing you can do. And I'm just like, well, there's better ways to do that. Just my opinion, though. And next, we have a young lady really developing her royal sense of style. And this is Princess Elizabeth of the Belgians in this gorgeous blush pink number here. Love this dress. It's by Bosch Paris. I think it's stunning. I think it's fully age appropriate. She's, I think, about 22, 23 now. She is going to do some grad work in the United States in Harvard University. She just graduated from Oxford, and this is part of Belgian National Day. And I think this dress is stunning. I love it. I love how it's very youthful, but very appropriate as well. So it gives her that hint of fun, but is also classy and elegant. I think it's fantastic. And maybe one day, probably her sister Eleanor will probably wear this, her younger sister, and I think that would be fantastic. But I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous dress. I think she pulls it off really, really well, and I'm so excited to see her continue to grow into her style because she is looking really, really good. So next on the worst dress list, I have to say, is Pippa Middleton in this Beulah London number. I really like Beulah London, but I don't like this dress at all. I hate the ruffle. I think the print is pretty youthful, and Pippa's, I think she's close to 40 now. So I just feel like this look doesn't particularly look great on her. And she's kind of has, I would say, maybe a bit harder features. So I think like the softness of the pattern doesn't totally work for her. That's just my personal opinion. She has an Emmy London clutch here. She has Chanel sunglasses as well. I think she looks, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just like, I really don't like the Little House on the Prairie ruffle. It's just not a fan of this. Not a fan of this. So I definitely have to give this one a thumbs down. So back over to Belgium, and we have again Princess Elizabeth of the Belgians here in this gorgeous like shift dress with the little cape and the headband. It is fantastic. It is by Sophia, and she has a Maison de la Vigne headband headpiece on here and Jimmy Choo pumps. And I have to say again, I think this is a stunning ensemble. I think the color is amazing. I think she looks fabulous. I love this. And again, age appropriate but youthful color and appropriate for royal events. Here's another look at this ensemble. Again, great, fantastic look here. I think she looks absolutely stunning and amazing. So I'm just again so excited to see her continue to grow into sort of her royal sense of fashion, you could say. So absolutely stunning appearance here at Belgian National Day from its future queen, Princess Elizabeth. This one is tough because there's a part of me that really wants to like this, and then there's a part of me that really doesn't like this. And this is a Elie Saab jumpsuit worn by Princess Charlene of Monaco. I actually think the color is pretty stunning. I'm just not like I don't know. This just doesn't do much for me. She's done a fair amount of jumpsuits recently. I'm overall not a big fan of jumpsuits, and I just think this particular one isn't as flattering as it could be. The color is amazing, and it's hemmed appropriately. But other than that, I think I have to put this maybe towards my worst because it's just not my favorite, and it's just not something where I'm like super excited about it. And I feel like it sort of fits the mold for not the best look of the week. But obviously, here they're at an official like Olympic events. You can see here 2000 for Sydney, 1996 for Atlanta. I think she swam in the 2000 Sydney Games, if I'm not mistaken. She was an Olympic swimmer. So it makes a lot of sense for her to be there to commemorate the Olympics. And Albert has been involved in the Olympic Committee, I think, for many, many years now. So makes sense for them to be there. She's sort of representing red, color of Monaco national flag. And so I totally understand where she's coming from with the look, but I have to say it's just not my favorite. And I think I have a better one here later that she wore this week as well. So this is an interesting look from Charlene, which I actually really kind of like. So this is an Alexander McQueen top and trousers matched with a Louis Vuitton bag. And that kind of surprised me because there's been a couple events recently where she's been head to toe Louis Vuitton. And so I was a bit surprised to see that this is Alexander McQueen because that is, of course, an English, well, technically he is a Scottish designer. Actually, recently saw his memorial stone up in the Isle of Skye. So very, very cool there. And I love this sort of different look from her. I think it's kind of interesting. And so I appreciate it. It's not like top tier ever, but I think actually it's a really good look. And she's matching again the colors of the Olympic rings. So she wore red, she's worn black. So I think this is a pretty great look from Charlene. We have another look of sort of the full ensemble. And of course, if you are not aware, and I hope you are, they are, of course, at the Louvre in Paris. So that is the Louvre Museum right there. That is the sort of, what is it called? A pyramid and you kind of go in that entrance and down, so you can see the Musée du Louvre. And so it used to actually be a royal palace. So that is really, really cool. And so she's got this like long sort of like little side detail here, which I actually don't mind. I think this is kind of unique and interesting. So, and I really like her earrings too. She's got some pretty amazing chandelier earrings right there. So, gotta put Charlene on the best dress list here. Now, this was hard to put on the worst dress list, but I just did have to because I feel like if it was another royal lady, I would probably criticize her for wearing this particular dress. So, I feel like it's appropriate with Queen Letizia. Although I will say, there's very few women her age who can pull off this particular dress because this particular dress, I can imagine, and I will have confirmation here before too long, it doesn't it doesn't it emphasizes any flaw you have. So there are no secrets between you and this dress in the world. But at the same time too, I feel like for a queen, it's maybe a little inappropriate and maybe a little young. I think this would work better on one of her daughters just because it's a very youthful look. Yet at the same time too, she looks great in it, so it's, like, hard to criticize. But at the same time too, obviously, definitely, you would never see Catherine in something like this in the UK. It is a more conservative nation, I would say, in some ways overall, but I would still say it would be very, very unusual to see Catherine in anything like this. She sort of wore a dress somewhat like this once way, way back in the day when she did a reception on, I think, Charles's behalf, like, in 2011. So it's been a long time since we've seen Catherine in anything sort of like this. I can't really think of any royal lady who would wear something quite like this. Spain is sort of the exception, but I feel like some ways sometimes too, I don't know if it's a combination of things, I can't really say, but Queen Letizia, like one year, a couple years ago, she wore a cutout dress. And I'm like, a cutout dress? You're queen, you're I believe in your 50s now. Don't know if we should be doing cutout dresses at this point. Not that it was bad, she has abs of steel, but it's just like one of those kind of weird things. So I don't know where Spain falls because I know she is somewhat liked by people and somewhat not liked as well. So I would be curious what they think in particular. Do love her earrings. And this was very special because she got to give an award to Michael Douglas. That is Michael Douglas right there. And her dress is Hugo Boss and it is actually still available. It comes in this color and green. And just because I am trying to do more unboxings and those sorts of things, I did order that dress because it was, I would say, at a size that I could deem my size. Still think that dress probably would look hideous on most women. Well, not hideous, I should say, but I don't think it would look particularly flattering on me, but I love that kind of texture, and so I'm just really curious. And yes, does that make me somewhat a hypocrite? You could say. But I also like the idea of checking out royal fashions and sharing it with you guys. And like I said, it's on sale. Her shoes are from Mango and her earrings are from Barbara Gonega. And I actually think the earrings are really great. And the earrings match with the simplicity of the dress, but I just think that the dress kind of maybe a little too date nighty for an event, although it is a Hollywood Film Festival event. But I'd be curious to see if that dress would work well with like a blazer or something. So I have a couple ideas. So we shall see. But yes, there are absolutely no secrets between you and the world in that dress. Just saying. Just saying. And so there's just like there's nothing there. So she looks great though. I definitely would not look that good. Even though I ordered the dress, I will not look that good in it. I know 1,050% I will not look as good in that dress. But I just thought it'd be fun. I like the texture seems interesting to me. So we shall see. One dress that did make an appearance I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I'm so glad Queen Letizia wore it again, is this Carolina Herrera dress that unfortunately she had to shield in a poncho because it's her reigning at the Olympic opening ceremonies. I love this dress. I think this dress is amazing. It's gorgeous. It's Carolina Herrera. It's got this very like old charm. It's like a 1950s dress. I love it. It's just got this very cool elegance to it. And there is this picture somewhere, in which I didn't include here, that they look pretty miserable in the rain in their ponchos. But like this poor woman, she gets this gorgeous dress on and then she has to cover it in a poncho. But that's sometimes the price you pay. But I think this dress, again, absolutely 100% stunning. So next we have a Queen Matilda of the Belgians, and she is there getting her, let's see what bag this is. Somebody has it. Her Giorgio Armani bag, wet in the rain. Hopefully that doesn't damage the leather there. And she is in this essential Antwerp outfit, and there are pants and a shirt that go with it. I don't think yeah. This is hard because it's just like ugly pattern. Ugly pattern. So I would personally think it would be better if she didn't wear something like that. But to each their own, but I will have to say I do find this sort of unflattering and strange that she would wear something like this. She has a tendency, I almost thought it was Nathan because it reminds me a lot of Nathan. Again, and there's a complicated thing where most royal ladies tend to wear fashion from fashion houses that are within their country oftentimes. And so this is not a surprise because Antwerp is a location, I believe, in Belgium. So this is not a surprise. But at the same time, too, I think it's like, this is something you should be wearing in a holiday or if you are in a retirement community in Florida. I don't think necessarily to an Olympic competition is it the best, and they maybe one the top with a sans pattern pants or the pattern pants with a flat top would work better here. I think the pattern is not the worst pattern in the world. She has a worse pattern, but I don't quite get the penchant for patterns. I think patterns should be done sparingly, and I just don't think this looks great. So I have to put this on the worst dress list. So now we have once again Queen Mary. She is wearing a Maximera jumpsuit here, and she did this actually at two engagements. This to the Olympic Gala, and then there was also another event earlier in the day where they opened like little plaza for Denmark in Paris. So I think the red here is incredible. Has an Anya Heinmark bag, and she's wearing Ferragamo heels, and she has some jewelry on as well. I just think this is a very classic ensemble that works really, really well, and I love the red, and again, she's representing the colors of Denmark here. Again, a lot of diplomatic dressing, I've gotta say, which is pretty incredible. She always does, I think, a really good job on it. Not everybody can master that really, really well, so I think Queen Mary looks fabulous here. The only thing that I may not like is her hair. Her hair, I'm not sure about, but the rest of the look works really, really well. All right, so next on the worst dress list, I do have to once again give it to Pippa Middleton here. Pippa Matthews, née Middleton. I just think I think it's a blouse and pants. It might be a jumpsuit. I can't quite remember. I just think this is really hideous though. And this is Claire Machanvi, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong. And this is bespoke. She actually asked for that pattern. Wow. Wow. It's one of those things where it's a little bit too much. I think this would work, the pattern would work in a dress or with the pants and a flat. What I mean by flat is just a solid color shirt. And yeah, I just don't think this is flattering at all. Man, that woman she has like no hips whatsoever. That is part of like the Militons. They don't really have wide hips. But I also have to say too, I feel like this outfit really emphasizes how prominent her chest bones are. And I just don't think that looks particularly flattering. It makes her look really, really skinny, and she is in very, very good shape. She 100%, I think, she runs triathlons and she's in phenomenal shape. She has like six-pack abs and everything. So she is in great shape. I don't think sometimes you have to be careful because that can just not make you look the best. I have never really had that issue, so not really something I can totally attest to, but I just don't think this look overall is all that great. I think it looks like pajamas. I feel like I have a pair of pajamas that could mimic that outfit. So I just have to put this definitely on the worst dress list here. So next we have a Queen Matilda of the Belgians, and I am putting her on the best dress list here, which I feel like I don't get to do quite that often. But I do actually really, really like this outfit. It is Nathan. I have issues with Nathan 100%. And she has Dior pumps on and a Philip Tracy hat. And I think this is really lovely. I love the touch of the gloves. I think that adds an elegance to a royal look. This is that Belgium National Day, and so she's really bringing out all the stops here. And I think this has an air of drama without being too much. I think the color tones it down a lot because it is a neutral color, but it's not so bland either. I mean, it's sort of beige, but also has this interest up here with the buttons and the little overlay and everything. And I just think she looks really, really good here. So I do have to put her on the best dress list here this week for this particular number. The other numbers, not so much, because we got one more from Queen Matilda. So we have this look of Queen Matilda at again, this is like the evening, there's like a fireworks performance and everything for Belgium National Day. This is Nathan again. She has Ferragamo wedges and she has jewelry from Christine Biekert. And I have to say, this pattern is hideous. It's an ugly pattern. And if you actually look at the Nathan look, it actually pairs it with the pants with the white shirt, the top with white pants, and wearing this together. And I mean, look, you have her daughter here behind her looking absolutely stunning. I don't understand Queen Matilda's obsession with Prince. Again, I am not a print. Well, actually, I should not say that because I do like Prince. But I just think, like, why would you pick these ugly colors? I mean, I could say the same thing to the designer. Why do you pick ugly patterns? But Matilda as well. Why are you picking this ugly pattern? It's ugly. It's ugly. Maybe it has some sort of connection to Belgium. I don't know, but I just think, oh, it's just not. And for Belgian National Day, which is kind of a big celebration, she had a great outfit earlier in the day. And then she kind of does this. It's like, this is kind of your time to sort of elevate your looks. And this is just a terrible, terrible, horrible choice. I hate to say that, but it is. It is. It's just a terrible look. Come on, Queen Matilda. You can do better. I know you can. You're lovely, but not in this particular ensemble. All right, guys, and I almost forgot this one. I'm so glad I didn't forget it. And this is Princess Leonor of Spain on her first official, you could call it foreign tour. She's in Portugal, and she's wearing this absolutely stunning Carolina Herrera suit in red. She has an Olivia Marquette bag, pink chic pumps here, and gold and roses jewelry. And I believe the gold and roses jewelry she borrowed from her mother here. But I have to say, for her like first foreign royal event, this is stunning. This is like absolutely stunning. I think she looks absolutely incredible. This is like a great example for what young royal ladies should wear. She is the future queen of Spain. I love it that she is standing out, yet also is very appropriate. And the color obviously references her home country's flag of Spain, which is yellow red mostly. And so I feel like she's really standing out here in an incredible way. She looks utterly amazing. And her and her sister right now are all over the Olympics, going to so many different events to support Spain. And I just think it's incredible and amazing to see two young royal ladies like really walking in and starting their royal careers. I think it's absolutely incredible. And who also looks incredible here is her mother, Queen Letizia. And this is an outfit that stunned me because, guys, she is in head to toe Dior. And this is very rare. I don't think we've ever seen Letizia ever wear a single piece of Dior, especially fashion. She may own a Dior clutch. She's actually, you can't really see it, but she does have a Dior clutch there. Her shoes are Dior. I think somebody mentioned this may have been some sort of agreement between Dior and Spain. I'm not sure for the Olympics, but I just think she does look stunning here. I love the brocade and bead work. Like this dress is incredible. And obviously as well, this is an element of diplomatic dressing. She is in France and Dior is obviously incredible, amazing. The detail work here is unbelievable. So excited that we get to see it. Queen Letizia and definitely Prince designer for her. So here we have Albert and Charlene, and she is wearing a bespoke Louis Vuitton look. She has a Louis Vuitton bag there, Gianvito Rossi shoes. And I think this is kind of a hideous jumpsuit. It's so plain. It is boring. There's nothing really all that interesting about it. I hate the fabric. It looks really wrinkled, and I don't think it's flattering. It looks Spanish in a way. And I don't like that for her. And I know some of you are probably like, "What? Queen Matilda again?" But I do have to give her a shout out here because I think this burnt orange suit is fabulous. I do. So this is a Dries Van Noten outfit, and so blazer and suit, and she has Zidane earrings. And I think they're in the train station arriving from Belgium. I think this is a stunning look. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. I think the color looks great with her skin tone and everything. I don't think I could pull off burnt orange, but I think she does it really, really well here. And I just have to give this like a huge thumbs up, especially as there's been a couple of stinkers this week. When you lean sometimes too far in to the patterns, especially like bold, like big patterns, starts to really remind me of a retirement community in Florida. Those should be saved for like going to a resort or something, not really on royal engagements, in my personal opinion. So got to give her a thumbs up here. All right. And so for our final looks here, we have a couple, and this is like the runner up to the worst look of the week because I almost want to give it to this, but there is actually something that is worse. But this is pretty bad. This is really pretty bad. And this is Meghan Markle at the G9 Ventures Summit in what I can only describe as a rather hideous ensemble. This is ill-fitting, unflattering beige mess. And Meghan likes beige. I have a whole video on it if you're interested called The Duchess of Beige because she loves beige, even though she said she couldn't wear color in the royal family because she didn't want to clash with anyone. All she does now is not wear color, so that appears to be a lie. Actually, I think nobody looks particularly good here. I think Misha Nono, who I believe this is, looks sort of terrible in this as well. Like, yeah, I don't wanna get too far into that because I feel like it could get into dangerous territory, but I don't think any of that is particularly flattering, to be honest. But Meghan's especially looks really bad, and the funny thing is I've looked at the website as well, and this outfit is pretty hideous on the website too. So I have a theory, all of the you who might be interested, I know some people would say, "Well, I don't care about your fashion sense, so why do I care about your theory?" But I think this is a decent theory to know, which is that if it looks bad on the model, most likely it's gonna look bad on you too. So here is the look on the website. It is actually currently on sale if anybody is interested. It is backless, and it's this silhouette that Meghan keeps going for, which I find starting to get very, very annoying because what I find annoying about it is that, like, if you do it every time, it sort of loses its interest and you're not doing anything interesting to it. But this is the top and the pants, and I think both of them look terrible. So let's take a look here because I was just like really, really surprised. There's honestly part of me that wants to buy it and see if I can style it better. But honestly, I don't know if I can because I think this is terrible. So here you have it here. Let's see. And then we have some of the models here as well. So, and it also the pants are too long here. I just don't know who this would be flattering on, to be honest. There, you got it there. How in the world is that flattering? Like, as a woman, how does that look flattering? Tell me, where would you wear this? I don't understand. And maybe people say, "Well, you're not fashionable." I know people tell that to me, but I'm like, I actually do get a lot of compliments when I put effort into my look and dress up. I always get a lot of compliments. And I feel like this is somebody who's always trying to be fashionable or trying to like push the limits of their look, but don't really know what looks good on them. And so they think something like this is a good idea when it's not. So let's get back to looking at Meghan's look. So as my father said when when my mom showed him this picture, because my mom gets all into this now too. She's like, he goes, anyone missing a dining room tablecloth? And she does honestly, there's not much difference between the dining room tablecloth behind her and what she is wearing. Not much difference. Not much difference for Amisha No No either. They might even be wearing the same brand. I'm not even sure you could classify that as a skirt because it just kind of seems like a band, like around, I don't know. It's not that she doesn't have great legs, but I just feel like once you reach a certain age, micro minis may, you kind of grow up out of that, I would think. And I just again have to say that this is terribly unflattering on Meghan. Number one, she's really not tall enough to pull off this particular look. I think she needs to be slightly taller. But two, and I've noticed this with the last couple looks, especially for halters, is that it sort of looks like a sack up here and terrible because she doesn't have enough of a bust to fill out the bust line. There's something to having enough of a bust so you can kind of fill something out and give something a great shape. Now, that's not always the case. That's not always the case. Because sometimes, like, for me, this is almost a bit obscene because it does have a low V neckline. So at certain angles, you get someone an eyeful. So it's like my mic is hiding it. Woo! But when it comes to this look, like she doesn't have enough of a bust to fill it out. And so like look at all this fabric right here. That's where like if you have more boobs, you there's not this weird like you can almost like start like you can almost like pull that fabric out because there's so much of it there because she doesn't have anything up top. And that's there's nothing wrong with that. But this is another example of dressing for your body type. And we are all guilty of this. We all think we are a different body type than we are. And sometimes it's harder to accept that than other times. And I'm fully guilty of this. And so many other women are. I think we're all guilty of this at one point or another. But sort of the trick is, and especially somebody at Meghan's level, you should be making enough money at this point where somebody can tailor something to you. So this should be taken in. So that's why I'm curious, like if I bought something like that and I have too much boob, I mean, I couldn't really wear this because it would require backless. And she's going braless. Like there's just no way to wear a bra in this look because literally like the back is completely open. That I could actually fill that out and make it look better because I have more boobs to put in the vest thing. Just saying. Just saying. That's kind of just the reality of this look. It just looks really bland, boring, and banal. And, like I said in her other look, she seems to think that these like simple ensembles really work, but she does nothing to elevate them. And so she just puts them on, doesn't get them tailored. And quite frankly, this looks terrible. But honestly, still, I just keep looking at this stupid vest thing online. And it's like, I don't even know if I could try to make it look better because it's honestly kind of sort of terrible. It's a very ugly piece, both the pants and the this vest thing. I'm sorry, I just think they're ugly. They're not well built. I don't think they're particularly flattering on women. They don't even look flattering on the models. So they're definitely not going to look flattering on Meghan. And Bobby Brown must be like 5 foot nothing or 4'11" or something. And Misha no shoes. What are those things? Those are ugly. Meghan again, the pants way, way, way too long. So she's ruining the pants at the same time. But anyways, overall, horrid look, in my opinion. And so for the best look of the last couple weeks, not just weeks, we have, drum roll, please. We have, of course, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, here in this lovely, incredible purple number. And now I had figured she would go to Wimbledon just because she loves Wimbledon. And so we are very excited to see her there. Of course, it was announced, I think, the day before. Princess Charlotte was there as well. And her dress is this Sophia number. And it actually comes both with this extra paneling on top and without. So there are some things you could perhaps read into the extra bit of paneling up here that Catherine had added. And they are now selling it with that if people want it. Because she's also has a smaller bust line as well too, she has gone with really low cut, you could say, numbers and looked completely fine. So I'm just curious if it reflects something to do with her treatment. Not trying to read too much into that, but there's some interesting thoughts. She paired it then with an LK Bennett bag. She had Camille Elpic shoes, a Victoria Beckham sunglasses. She had by Pariah jewelry on here, some hoop earrings, and she had Halcyon Days bracelets on. She had 2 of them. But I just do think she looks lovely here. I think the purple is also as well a fantastic nod to her official role as patron here. She gets to wear this bow that she's a member of the England Lawn and Tennis Club. So I just think this was great. I mean, I just love seeing her anytime we can see her. And so I do have to give her props for looking at this great. And it sounds like her and William, I saw this from Berkshire to Buckingham. I believe the Waleses are on vacation. So we will hopefully see her more in the fall, but no guarantees. All right, so now for the worst look of the week. And this is someone who you probably do not recognize. This is Princess Delphine of Belgium in this hideous ensemble. This is hideous. It's hideous. It's not fashion, it's hideousness. And this is sort of an interesting case. So it is a bespoke Elvis Pompilo outfit and Morobe shoes. The whole look is ugly. I'm sorry, this is ugly. This is just plain old ugly. And on the back of the suit, it says love. It says love. This is her husband here with his lovely little ponytail. And this is sort of a very, very interesting and unique case in royal land. And I will give you my personal theory on this for those who care. So Princess Delphine is the illegitimate daughter of the former king. So King Albert had to abdicate his throne in part because of her. And she sued to get her royal title. And I understand your father was a king. And this sort of scandal and everything really did cause obviously a bit of a ruckus. I can't quite remember if she's between some of the king's siblings, or I can't quite remember, I should say, the current king. So there's King Philippe, his sister Princess Astrid, and his brother Prince Laurent. So there are 3 of them. She, I think, fits somewhere in the middle or later. I can't quite remember. But what I think it fuels this level of hideousness, because she does this constantly. And I think some of it is that she's a bit eccentric and she likes to indulge her eccentricities. But what I think this is a giant thing that says, pay attention to me. That's what I think she is screaming like a toddler. And the reason I think that is because even though she's gotten the title and she's been invited to these formal ceremonies like Belgium National Day, she wants more. She's not satisfied. There was some sort of letter, and you'll have to forgive me because I don't remember quite the details on it. Because sometimes some of these stories just really are contained within publications that are in French and Dutch when it comes to the Belgians. And so I just can't cover everything, and I have to use Google Translate. So you have to forgive me on the details on this. But from what I remember, she essentially kind of wrote the government and goes, well, I kind of want to do more. Like, can't you allow me to do more? And then I think she even wanted a little bit of payment for doing quote unquote more for the Belgian government. Like, she wants to be a working royal. There's just a problem though. She's not. She should be so blessed with what she has, but she only wants more. But the problem is that we all have talked about this, especially if you follow my brain's channel, Royal News Network. In real land, as time goes on, it is the direct heir's family that becomes more important, and other members of the family become less important. So when it came to Prince Albert, if let's say she became part of more of this cadre when she was in her 20s, then she might be more ingratiated within the Belgian public. But she was like in her 40s or 50s when all of this happened, maybe more like 40s. And so I feel like she wants to be treated as if she's like a full member of the family when she's not really. And as well, it's just going to become really King Felipe and Queen Matilda and their children. That's how all royal stuff works. As it went from, even though we had Prince Laurent and Princess Astrid, yes, they do still do some things, but they're slowly being, sent out to pasture, you could say. There is no role for Princess Delphine, but she wants there to be a role for Princess Delphine. But the reality is there is not. And I feel like she's taking, at least in my opinion, taking advantage of the situation. And so I feel like she chooses these hideous ensembles as if to scream, I am here. Don't forget me. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Here. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. And I find it to be a very juvenile approach to the situation. Not to mention that's very juvenile to have a massive butterfly on your chest as well when you're look like you're in your 40s and 50s now. I think it's time to retire that. And you look at this ensemble and you think, right? Let's send her to the G8 summit to represent Belgium. Right? No, nobody's thinking that. So she, in addition to, I think, wanting to do more, doesn't present herself in a way where people want her to do more. Like she's never worn a tiara, and I'm sure she wants to. Sure, she wants to go to state functions and everything. They're kind of like, no, no. But she wants to be elevated to that level. But she also proves that you can't really, because when you dress like that, they don't want you to anything because you're like, oh my goodness, what in the world is this woman going to show up in? Now, I understand it may be her personal taste, but it also screams to me like a desperate, desperate cry of attention and very, very unflattering. So, guys, let me know what you think. Is my theory about Princess Delphine wrong? Now, again, I could say she wants to look like this. That is her right. I also have the right to think she looks absolutely ridiculous, and I think most people should take that opinion as well, in my personal opinion. So, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of my picks for best and worst on the list. I'd love to get your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. And as much as I can, I shall link items that you can purchase from these royal ladies if they are available. Not the Princess Delphine one, because that thing should be burned. So, guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye.